Hello YouTube and people of the interwebs, welcome back to another video. Today, after quite a while, we are once again joined by...
I'm Evie, or you might know me as anoblegirl on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah,
Woo, I'm
links
back.
to all of that stuff is going to be in the bio, so go and buy the description. Not the bio. Links in description. So today we are here to discuss Doctor Who Flux as a whole. The penultimate, final stuff of the Chibnall era.
Right, so we've got a tier list, and we're going to be ranking from pretty much surprisingly from episodes 1 to 6 of the Flux. And the special, is it a special?
Yeah, the New Year's
Year's.
special, Eve of the Daleks, is going to be placed somewhere in there. It's not actually on the tier list at the moment, but the magic of post-production.
So I guess we'll just jump right in, starting with... Has a mind blank on which episode is the first one.
The Halloween Apocalypse, written by the man himself, Chris Chibnall. What are you thinking for that?
I think I watched it twice. I think, if I remember rightly, I thought this was a good, just good.
It's a solid start, but it's not. It didn't make me go, "Oh my god, wow, Doctor Who's back." It was just sort of like a, yeah, I'm interested to see where this goes.
Because obviously we've just been introduced to Swarm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was probably the highlight of that episode, I think.
Yeah, I think
if I remember correctly.
Swarm, we're not going to delve into the later episodes now, but he definitely at the early half of the series was amazing. I personally thought he was a great villain. Like the performance as well. I'm not so sure about, was the other one Azure? Yeah, I'm not so sure about.
No, I don't think Azure was Azure introduced in episode 1, or is it like right at the end?
I think it might have been right at the end. Yeah, no, because she's disguised as like that random human
woman from Iceland.
Yeah. What was that about, Chris Chibnall? Oh, I'm not going to get angry, but what was that?
What was the point? They had like a little device, didn't they? And then it started shaking. What? I can't remember. It flew up in the air or something.
The more I think about the series, the more there's just little things like that where it's like, what was going on in his head when he wrote? Like, what is that? Why is she there? Oh.
That's a question we'll never know. It's just one of those questions that will forever be asked for the rest of human history. Why was that scene there? But I think the guy who plays Swarm, I thought he was incredible. The prison scene where they were they weren't supposed to engage with him, but I just thought that was really cool. And then when the transformation, when he was absorbing all the energy, I thought that was really cool. His acting was amazing.
Yeah, I loved Carvanista, especially in that episode. I thought the whole him and Dan duo was really, really funny.
Nah, mate. You should have seen my face when you said that.
The whole him and...
Did you not like it?
No, I
no.
Controversial.
Controversial opinions is back.
I thought their kinship, what's the word? Their companionship was nice. I thought it was good. I thought they got on well, and I thought they suited each other.
You're trying to politely say no.
First episode, I didn't like Dan that much. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I needed to justify it, but when I saw Carvanista, I couldn't take the character seriously, because it was literally they made a dog into a character, and it sort of gave me flashbacks to Orphan 55 with that fox / cat person.
I feel personally offended that you've likened Carvanista to the furry from Orphan 55.
Has no one already made that comparison?
I don't know.
Have you not?
The thing I thought with it felt really Russell T Davies, because he has the cat people that are all nurses, and it's like, oh well, Chris Chibnall tries to look up to some of Davies' writing and goes, oh, you know what, we won't have cats, we'll have dogs.
I guess it was just a change, because it's just this northern dog put in a like a suit of armor. I
Yeah.
was like, that's never been done before, and I don't know how to react.
You know, I like Doctor Who when it's at its weirdest, and like when it
Yeah.
like the episode where there's just a frog on a chair from series 11. Like loads of people hate that. I love
But
it.
you,
It's so
you
it's
love
just
it.
so out there and like what is going on sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the dialogue. I think I don't have a problem with the character in itself. I think it's the dialogue that Carvanista had, or maybe the dialogue that Dan and Carvanista shared, just felt a bit. I think the bit that I just didn't like was the man's best friend thing, and I didn't see the whole one dog for one human thing plausible.
It doesn't make
Because I
any
was like,
sense.
what if you're like? There's so many scenarios where having a dog like just wouldn't, like if you're a baby or if you're like in hospital, like in critical care. This is really random, but if you're just like there's so many scenarios where people are in different like situations where I just don't think a dog in armor would help.
Also, it doesn't actually make any sense because like the amount of ships they have could not cover the entire of Earth's surface. And this is getting really nerdy and pathetic. Apologies. But when they cover the top of Earth, why is it not dark? Like, why is Earth not? Because they've blocked out the sun. Like, none of it makes sense.
I think that's because the light's already doesn't the light that hits Earth, the light that we're seeing actually came out of the sun like ages ago, but we're seeing it like I don't know, like years later. I don't know what the time delay between the sun emitting rays
no
and us
idea.
hitting Earth is, but there's
If
a
there's
significant delay.
a science person in the comments, comment down below
I
and
can
correct
confirm.
us.
Maybe it's because the light's already travelled.
You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
I don't know. Honestly, just pulling at
Oh.
random physics knowledge that I really don't have the qualifications
aside, because we've gone on a massive tangent.
But you know what? You're right. You're right.
Overall.
No,
overall.
I want to. Can I talk about? Is her name Claire?
Oh yeah. See, I'd forgotten
I
she was
love
even
Claire.
in that episode.
No, she turns up and says something like, "Oh, but they never solved this." She just turns up in the middle in front of Yaz and the Doctor, and it's like, "Oh my god, it's you!" And then Yaz and the Doctor are just like, "Who the hell are you?"
Another moment where Chris Chibnall decides. I don't know. Like, there's been loads of rumors that because of COVID, they had to like do stuff weird with production and rewrite some of the later episodes, which would make sense because he seems to set up loads of stuff in episode 1 that just sort of gets dropped or vaguely hinted at in the future.
Yeah, like this moment but I don't remember them wrapping up Claire and the Weeping Angel, but maybe they did, and we can come back to that. I thought the little that we saw of that character, I really liked her, and then as the series goes on, I just liked her more. But I thought it was. Oh, I've just scrolled down. I can see pictures of Yaz and the Doctor hanging from. I did think that seems a bit weird. Did you like that opening scene?
I don't know, because on one hand, like anyone who doesn't watch Doctor Who regularly is going to see that and go, okay, I'm never watching Doctor Who again. But then on the other, it had all the elements of like cheap, badly green screened, classic Doctor Who that's just absolutely bonkers that I thought was quite funny. But
even then, like the green screen from like Tennant era wasn't even that bad, was it? Was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but
no, Tennant era, some of it's horrific.
I thought it was. Yeah, I'm just biased. I'm totally just rewriting history just to suit my own opinions.
You can't rewrite history, not one line.
But I thought that was very strange. Like I had to force myself to watch through that opening scene because I was like, "What are you doing?" And I thought the dialogue was a bit. I mean, it is Doctor Who because it's not meant to be realistic. Just like the fact that they I think there was a bit where they had to move from the handcuffs and into jumping and holding on to like the drone thing, and it just felt a bit. Would a normal person be able to do that? Like they flip themselves over.
I love the line where because the handcuffs are like voice activated, and she's like, "Maybe I was Scottish when I set these up," and she
Oh.
just starts shouting in Scottish. It was.
That was great. Yeah, you're so right. That
It's a
was good.
mixed bag though, because
Yeah.
some of it's really good, and then some of it is just like questionable.
Yeah.
But I'd say, and Vinder was introduced in this episode.
Because he was sat in his little pod.
Yeah.
Just
He didn't
it's
really
quite.
do anything.
Yeah, he was just doing his little microphone thing, saying, "Well, nothing's happened, and I hope you all go to hell," something like that. And then suddenly the Flux appears, and he's like, "Oh
no, something's happened."
I was so wrong. It was
my videos in Google Images.
Is it?
Yeah, my really poorly made thumbnail.
Oh my god, is that? Oh my god, guys!
Well, I'm famous. I've
The
made
confused Adipose is famous. You see this picture?
Yeah.
Is this from the Halloween Apocalypse? Because
Yeah.
I thought that was like the best scene ever.
Yeah.
Like the moment where they're speaking to, oh my god, I couldn't get over it. I just thought it was such good acting, and like the background of like the blue and the purple, like this sort of like hazy, like I don't know, like dream state. I just thought it was amazing, and like he seemed so creepy.
Yeah, he was so intimidating as well, and I loved the idea that Jodie's doctor had never seen him before, but he'd known all about her. Like that sort of stuff was really good, and a genuinely amazing premise to start with a villain.
Yeah. I 100% agree. When did the Swarm did Swarm get Azure in episode 1?
I think so. It was because episode 1 ends where they kidnap Dan's love interest for some reason. Like,
yeah, did that get wrapped up?
Because in the finale she breaks out of Passenger, and then
oh god, there's so much more. Right, should we just put it on? I'm thinking probably B.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we gonna list this?
A.
Yeah. Are we? Like, we're not comparing this with. We're ranking it just as a series. Like, we're not comparing it with like not imagining like Waters of Mars goes to S. We're just
oh no.
Like just relative to
relative
Flux.
to the rest of it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
I don't want to be mean to the series, but
no.
It's not as good as some of the other things.
Let's not do it relative to the rest of Doctor Who, because that I think I would. I don't know. I'd cause riots.
I think that the thing with the Halloween Apocalypse, like just final, I'll stop blabbering in a minute, but it really, really worked in the sense of if the rest of the series was brilliant and wrapped everything up perfectly, the Halloween Apocalypse would be great to rewatch, because when I watched it, I was full of questions and intrigue and whatnot. But because, in my humble opinion, the series slightly went downhill towards the end, the Halloween Apocalypse is nowhere near as good as it once was, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, exactly, because a series is a series for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have a series. It's not a film. It's a series because you need the other episodes to build up like a narrative.
Yeah.
Like you can't have a cliffhanger and then the next episode just forget about the cliffhanger. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're spot on. But I think it was a really good. I think I remember going on Twitter and people saying that it was a really good cliffhanger, or like it set so much up.
Yeah.
Like really well, and that was like one of the good things about it. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So I think it deserves A for that, but not S,
I think that's
because not S.
It's not perfect.
I think there was just a few weird bits of dialogue, and
yeah, I think there's only one episode I would actually put. Obviously, this is relative to Flux. There's only one episode I would put in S, I think.
I mean, should we go to this one now, War of the Sontarans?
Yeah, go for it.
Not gonna lie, I think this is my favourite one.
Yeah.
From the entirety of Flux.
Yeah, it was. I genuinely loved that episode. In all fairness.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I came out and I was like, oh, that was great. I enjoyed some Doctor Who. Wow.
I know, it's a rarity these days. What did you think of the new Sontaran design?
At first, I think there were some release photos on just floating around Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I don't know why I thought what. I don't know why I was like, but then when I watched it in in the episode, I was like, no, this is amazing. I think
Yeah.
this is really good. I think this is such a great restyle, like just a new rejig. It's just fresh. Like, no, I can.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
just
think
really getting nerdy.
Chibnall also managed to, like, in my opinion, these are the best Sontarans in the show's history, because I think they're such a, and that's design and dialogue and writing and whatnot, because they're such a good blend of stupid, ridiculous baked potatoes that you can't take seriously, but at the
You're
same
calling them
time,
baked potatoes?
I
Are
know, and
you?
I'd do it again. But at the same time, they have.
Oh my god, we're gonna cancel the confused Adipose. Nah, I'm out. I don't know
He's
you.
a space
Sorry.
racist. At the same time as the baked potato-ness, yeah, I said it. They also have this air of threat and evil about them, which is genuinely quite like disturbing.
Yeah, minus the. Nah, did they? I'm sorry. Did they flirt in this episode, or is that the next one?
No, that was the first one, I think.
Was it the first one? Which
Yeah,
is the
because
one
there's
they
that
flirting?
tiny scene where he's like, "You look disgusting."
You look disgusting. Yes. Really disgusting.
I'm sorry. If we were going to talk about something, if we were going to bring the Sontarans up, I had to make a point. I don't know what point I'm trying to make, but I was just like, what? What was that? They were just like, I don't know what that dialogue was. I don't know if it was meant to just be, just like, that's how Sontarans speak to each other, and that's how they hype each other up for war. Like, you're disgusting.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
what?
like commenting
then-
beautiful on people's Instagram
Yeah.
posts. Peng, bro.
Those facial expressions were pretty suggestive.
And they kept licking their lips as well.
That's what I mean. And I'm just like,
Ugh.
what was that, Chibnall? What was that?
Yeah.
Exciting.
I thought it was really funny, and I loved like lines where he's like, "And I wanted to ride a horse," just things
Oh
like that.
no, I thought that was awful.
No.
Nah, I thought that was so out of character. I thought that line, I wanted to ride a horse, was the right like idea. Like, I think it, to make the point of him wanting to always have ridden a horse is a good point, but I think the phrasing of, oh, I'd always wanted to ride a horse, I just don't think a Sontaran would phrase it in that way. Does that make sense?
I
I just
kind
feel
of,
like
I get,
they would have said it in like a wittier.
but
I
then
don't know.
I love that these Sontarans are just, they are literally angry little weird creatures that are just, because they are comedic, but they've also got good threat, and I think that's the main thing. Like when
Yeah.
Jodie confronts that one that is on the horse, it's a proper like, she feels fully like the Doctor. Like it's one of her best scenes, I'd say. Like when she's like, "Take your hat off, mate." Oh, on second thoughts, keep it back. Like put it back on. Like, that's good.
That was I really like that actually. That was quite funny. You're just you're just articulating what I'm thinking in my head really well. I don't really have anything to add on the Sontaran front. The dynamic I did like the most was probably Mary Seacole.
Yeah. She
and
was
the
a really good
Doctor.
historical figure to put in there, I think, because it
one of-
fitted the
yeah.
story really well.
I think she's probably like I'd probably put her in my top 5 historical characters, like Ada Lovelace. Is that
Yeah,
her name
yeah, that's her
from
name.
series 12?
Yeah.
I thought she's like one of like my top 5 as well. I can't remember my top 5, but I'm just pretending that they're in there. I don't know who the others are, but Mary Seacole,
Yeah.
I just thought she was actually amazing.
Yeah, I think it was good for the episode as well, because it felt like 2 separate stories really, because the stuff with Swarm and Azure, I thought that was really, really good as well. Because
In this?
Yeah, we're forgetting all the Sontaran stuff, but you have the whole Vinder and Yaz, and then the weird triangle things that fly around, and they're repairing the Maury,
Oh yeah.
and all of that stuff, and the introduction of Passenger, and all of that stuff going on, like in parallel.
Yeah, that was such a good episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like
they
that.
introduced the planet Time, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I thought the design of the people who stood on those like those pedestals, like, you know what I mean, like in that
the
little
weird
circle. I thought
things.
they look
That's
the
one
weird
description.
thingy things. I thought they were. Yeah, I'm just looking at the photos now. Actually, yeah, I thought that was really the design in this episode, I can't go for it. I think whoever did the costume design and like just general set design, I'm like, oh my god, hats off to you. I love you so much. Okay, I'm thinking S.
Yeah, go with S. I'd say that's, I mean, spoilers for the rest of the tier list, guys, but that's the only one that I'd say is properly enjoyable. Like, I don't rewatch it and go, oh, Chibnall. Like, the majority of it is just like, oh, that was a solid episode.
God, just shout out to the walk. Is that in War of the Sontarans?
Yeah, that's War of the Sontarans as well. That scene's great.
I'm gonna walk right out of. Oh my god, Dan! Dan, stop it! Dan! I did like. I did grow to like Dan's character there because I think we met his parents, and I just saw a bit more of his personality. I've just seen the "What Would the Doctor Do" thing on Yaz's hand. That's quite iconic.
Is that iconic or cringe or both?
Yeah, it's kind of cute. It kind of. Yeah, that's all I have on it. Just those noises.
Yeah, that sums it up really well, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm happy with it. I could talk about each episode for ages now. I'm realizing that as soon as we started this, the more I get into it, I can really break down every single frame.
I think we've summed up War of the Sontarans pretty well. It's a very good episode.
Yeah, I might rewatch it after this.
Yeah.
Actually, third, Once Upon Time.
Once Upon Time. Oh,
okay, what do you think?
For me, this is where, like, those of you who've watched my reviews of these episodes will know, this is where I just went, like, Chibnall, stop, just control yourself. Yeah, what the flux, you could even say. But it just, he throws so much random stuff in. It's just, the Ruth Doctor stuff, Joe Martin, loved that. But Belle...
We get introduced to Belle. Oh my god,
Belle. What was the point? She did nothing.
Oh my god, bloody...
Like, come the end of the series...
The baby monitor. Was that introduced in this episode?
Yeah.
Because that, like, for some reason, just irrationally made me so angry.
Why?
I was like, why is this here? What is this adding to the plot?
Yeah.
Why is there just this random baby monitor?
What were her and like, by the end of the series, maybe there'll be something in one of the other specials, but her and Vinda could have been completely removed from this series and nothing would change at all.
Period.
But
I completely agree.
I would say I liked Vinda's character up until this point. I think he does quite well.
Yeah.
But Belle was just a bit pointless.
I do think that Vinda whilst his character was good, I don't think I'm just repeating what you said, but I don't think he added anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what he added to this narrative. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I thought they were going to set him up with Yaz for a moment, a strong moment. I was thinking, oh, are they going to? Because like they've been, I think in the previous episode they meet each other in the temple.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, are they going to? I think there was some weird dialogue between them.
Yeah, and they shared a few like suspect glances with each other.
Yeah, but no. Then Belle comes along with. I mean, you're not supposed to know it's a baby monitor in this episode, are you? I think
no.
Or maybe it's more towards the end. I was like, what is that? Why is there...
The baby monitor has... Well, the baby monitor doesn't have the line. Belle has the line, and it is one of the worst lines Chibnall has ever written. She says to the baby... No, she says to Vinda, in her imagination, she goes something along the lines of like, oh, and I can't wait to see you again, and neither can our as-yet unborn child. Who speaks like that? You don't refer to your like baby as yet unborn child when you're talking to your husband or your partner, or like it's a mess. It's a mess.
This is what I mean. I just have a general problem with the dialogue in this episode, or just the general screenwriting. It's just very
exposits so much stuff. It's just like, oh, the more you're doing this and this and this and this. And, oh.
Yeah, I think this was a great example of just all that saying and showing and what was show not tell, whatever that is.
Show don't tell. Yeah.
Show don't tell. What she didn't do is what I'm saying. Like, there was too much telling.
Far
Just-
too much.
Just for God's sake, I think I liked Yaz in a different costume for once.
Yeah.
Like instead of her casual gear, she was wearing some cool, fancy like soldier stuff.
Everyone gets put in their
yeah.
past memories, and then for some, like that mission that Jodie does, Dan is actually Carvanista, and it's her forgotten lives and all this stuff. Which, to be fair, that was the bit I loved about that episode.
Yeah.
Because unlike most people, I'm genuinely invested in the Timeless Children plot. And seeing Jo Martin come back as Ruth, that was a really welcome surprise. Getting like more info on the Doctor's past, and yeah, just I liked that bit.
That's the main positive I think we'll take from that. And then also the set also looking very good, and I thought the visual effects were alright.
Yeah,
Though I did think these weird. Can you see the picture that I'm looking
yeah,
at?
yeah.
I thought that was a bit weird when like Jodie was just floating in the air in some like random purple
Yeah.
space. I just thought that was a bit orcs.
Because as well, you can tell that they're all on wires. Like there's a bit where Dan, Yaz, and Vinda are just like hung, like doing nothing in the vortex. Like what's going on?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was just like,
Ugh.
but it is what it is, and it's Doctor
Yeah.
Who being itself.
It felt like Chris
Oh.
Chibnall trying to be Stephen Moffat.
Yes, I think this is the episode that really confused me. I think me and my friend just came away and we were like, "What?
Yeah. What
What?
was that?
Like, it's like seriously, what the hell just happened?" Or that might have been for the rest of Flux, because I'm very confused by the
It all sort of blends into one. Oh, and
tech
we got,
tune.
yeah.
We don't know that though at the time, do we? We just get
No.
introduced to this character.
Chibnall seems to think, I am going to go off on another tangent, apologies. Chibnall seems
okay.
to think that the way of introducing a character in the story is just by showing them in an earlier scene with no context, just like, here's Tecteun, or here's Belle. We have no reason to emotionally engage or connect with them. He's just like, ha, they're there. So that when he gets to later episodes, he can go, what do you mean? They were there the whole time. Like with Claire in the Halloween Apocalypse. She just shows up, does nothing, and then goes. And then Chibnall's like, no, but you remember Claire, don't you, from episode 1? Well, why should we care about these characters if you're not giving us a proper way or reason to invest in them?
That makes perfect sense. I don't feel invested in the character at all. I don't feel invested in... I think I didn't... A major problem was I didn't feel invested in Belle. And I kind of felt invested in Vinda, but not... Only because I chose to. I was like, oh, this is a cool character. I want to be invested. Like, I don't think that... I think I had to force myself almost.
I think that about wraps it up for this episode.
I don't think there's any... I can't remember what else. I mean, there's some Cybermen.
Yeah, but what was the point? Why are they
what were
there,
they doing
Chris
there?
Chibnall? It's
What
like,
did you think of the design?
I really like that design, to be fair.
Is that the same one from the Timeless
Series 12,
Children?
yeah.
Oh, I thought it changed a bit, but I think it's because you don't really see their legs.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen their legs before.
Where are we ranking that one then?
Oh,
C, I'd say.
C.
It's
Come on,
just...
Paul.
No, I'm not impressed.
No, what would you rate it out of 10?
Oh, on reflection,
Full?
especially because nothing, it didn't add up to anything. 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5. 4.
I think
I'll
it
go
was.
4.
Yeah, I agree. I think it felt like a filler episode, and it wasn't even a good filler episode because obviously we had some lovely, lovely background stuff. Because I also want to know more about the Timeless Children thing. I think that's good because if you're not invested in it, then you might as well just stop watching the show. Like they've built this, like you might as well, continue with it. But then, what else? It was background story and like her going through her memories and Ruth Doctor, and it didn't have the thrill or a sense of being on edge.
Yeah.
A sense of, oh my god, everything's at stake. I just didn't think that was there. Like, no, it wasn't any emotional. No, my emotions weren't being played with. I like it when if I'm really excited or sad, So yeah.
Village of the Angels. That's the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked that one. That's sort
I
of
think
my overview. It was okay.
I think Claire and Jericho were amazing in this. I
Yeah.
really liked Jericho, and I thought Claire was really good. I loved her hair. I think it was like 60s vibes, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. She was like sat in some chair. I think Jericho was like doing readings. Do they explain? Is she like a psychic
I think
thing?
she had some weird, because she had an angel in her head for some reason.
Was the angel in her head? Well, is that why he was analysing her? Like, did the angel cause her to have those
Probably.
powers?
Honestly, I don't even think Chris Chibnall knows at this point. It just...
Love
I don't
you,
know.
Chris.
Yeah, shout out to Chris, my man,
Love
my
you.
main man.
Sorry. But this is probably between, I think when I was like looking over the series as a whole, I think I really liked Village of the Angels.
Yeah.
And I would almost think it was as good as War of the Sontarans. But I think there were some moments, maybe it was either the first half or the second. I think the first half was a bit weird, a bit dull. And then there was like a huge chase scene, and then with the whole cliffhanger, the Doctor turning into an angel.
That was
at the
a
end,
brilliant
I thought
cliffhanger, to be fair. Like, the
Yeah.
visuals on that were great.
So
I
it's a
dunno.
great plot twist.
I
I'd
need
say.
to stop. Yeah, I need to stop thinking about how it wraps into the ending, because that all just lowers all my opinions on the episodes. I'd say if we forget where it goes afterwards, this episode is almost on par with War of the Sontarans. It's a solid episode, and I think it's a script that they'd probably written before making it one serialized story, and they just dropped it in and hoped that no one would notice.
I would have to disagree though with the people who were saying this was the best angel story ever.
Oh no, disgusting. No, bad opinion. Boo.
Bad. You have an objectively bad opinion.
Yes, I've decided it is wrong.
I mean, I thought it was. I think the reason the episode was good was because of the angels. You know, like it wasn't the other way around. Like the angels is what made it good. I didn't think the episode made the angels. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did like the whole. I think the drawing turned into an angel. I think there was a drawing of an angel.
There were
I thought
really
that was
good moments.
good. Yeah, just moments that were written really well, or just directed well.
Yeah.
Just generally just executed well.
Visually, I'd say for the most part, it looked really good. Some of the Weeping Angel props, I think, were a bit strange, but I don't know if that's just me.
The props.
Yeah, like, I don't know if there's a photo on. Wait,
here.
there's the one where he's grabbing that person's coat there. Hang on, just scroll down a sec. There.
Oh, here.
It just looks a bit weird, but I don't know if that's just me. Like, there's just something off about it. It's probably.
Yeah, was it because they didn't use people in the angels for this? They literally made statues. What was it? I think there was a change to the there was something about the angels.
Yeah, that was just slightly different.
It wasn't the redesign. I think I'm pretty sure they used statues and they weren't using people for something. Maybe I'm just making it up. I can't remember, but they're definitely different.
Let us know.
Definitely different vibes. I thought the beach scene,
The beach scene was really good.
Yeah, and the Weeping Angel talking through Claire. I think Claire's character was done quite well.
Yeah, Claire and Jericho really shone through in that episode, I'd say. Like,
yeah, I think
they were properly good characters.
This is a classic example of two people who would have been like amazing companions.
Yeah.
Like Jericho would have been. I'm sorry to. Oh, we swore then. I'm sorry to. What's a good word? To talk bad about Graham, but I think Jericho and Claire instead of Ryan and Graham.
Yeah.
Maybe not with Yaz, but just as like. If you've got an old guy, if you want to have an old guy in the TARDIS, I think Jericho was really good.
Yeah, because he has a reason to be there as well, because he's this whole like, oh, I need to explore the science of blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that would have been really good. That just makes me sad that we didn't get that.
Yeah, no, it just, every time we get, like, Mary Seacole and, like, Claire, now Jericho, like, I think Jericho would have made a really cool companion. Like, he's just funny and, like he would have had really cool character development and like It's just such a waste. Such a waste. But
There's so many good ideas scattered throughout Flux which are
yeah.
never like fully capitalised on. Like they just get
Yeah,
left.
it's a real
and
shame.
it's quite sad.
Yeah, but I was on the edge of my seat. I'll give it that. I was feeling scared almost by the whole like chase and not blinking. Like it really like brought me back to when I was younger, like the whole don't blink thing. And I guess that's because we're all biased though. We all remember like don't blink and
the good old days.
Sally Sparrow and Time of the Angels with Matt Smith. Like
I still stand by Blink is like one of, if not the best Doctor Who episode. It's just
the Doctor isn't
so
even
good.
in it that much. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, okay. I'm trying to think, is there any other action from any other companion in this? Is it literally just, what about Vinda and Belle? I mean, Vinda's not really in it much.
This is the bit where Passenger rocks up and absorbs all those people.
Oh, I didn't like that.
In-betweeners.
I found that scene just useless. Because I think it was well written, if I remember correctly, but I didn't know why it was there. I didn't know why Belle was like, obviously there was a reason, but I didn't like as a person, like as a viewer, I wasn't like, oh, this is an important addition to the plot.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking that. I was like,
I think as well, there was, did you notice they wrote in COVID measures into this scene? Because Belle says, all these people have to stand 1 meter apart, otherwise the passenger won't absorb them. And it's like,
what?
Yeah, she literally, because all the people are spaced out in the quarry where passenger absorbs them all. And she's like, everyone has to stand 1 meter apart so that the passenger can absorb you. And I just sat there and thought, well, that was because of COVID, wasn't it?
I'm going to put it, personally, I'd put it at A.
Yeah. I think it's better than the Halloween Apocalypse, but not as good as one of the Sontarans.
Yes. And I think, I don't know what dragged it down. I think it's purely that whole passenger thing. It felt like filler at the beginning. I mean, they were setting things up, but it just I felt very lost for a lot of the episode, apart from the Weeping Angels bit. The cliffhanger itself would make me just put it at S. The whole like the Doctor turning into an angel brilliant. Because of other, just slightly way down.
A solid A. I think that's fair enough.
Survivors of the Flux.
There's so much going on. It hurts my head. I don't know where to begin.
Kate Stewart was wasted.
Oh, don't even get me started. I can't believe. Why would you bring in Kate Stewart just to do nothing? Like
what? Yeah.
But then I suppose she's probably going to come back in the centenary special. So
if they brought her back to do this and then they're going to bring her back again, they're just going to waste her again.
It's like, it reminded me very much of what they did with John Barrowman, where in Fugitive of the Jadoon, for no reason, he shows up and just goes, I'm going to be back in the future, and then leaves. With Kate, they just plopped her in the end of Flux, and she's like, I hope we meet again, Doctor, and then they're going to meet again. It's just like, you don't need, it's this thing I was talking about earlier, if you establish a character, put them in the story cleverly, don't just show them for no reason, and then bring them back, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So and her dialogue was poor. It was like, well, I know what you're up to, and I'm going to stop you. I don't know if that was in this episode or the next one.
Yeah.
But I think this was the whole Grand Serpent thing, and she was like, well, I'm Kate Stewart, and I'm going to... Like, it was just so... Yeah. No. She's more subtle. She's, like, witty. And, oh, yeah, this is it.
I loved as well it's the next episode, but I'll just talk about while we're talking about Kate. She goes, I'm Kate Stewart. I am the head of human resistance against Sontarans. There's no one else with her. She's the only person there. She's just like, I like to think she's just sort of given herself the title. I am the head of, she hasn't got an organisation. There's no unit behind her. She's just on her own. And she's bragging about like, I'm the head of human resistance. No one else is there, Kate.
It doesn't make sense. It would have made more sense if the Doctor had said that about Kate.
Yeah.
In front of a room of people, and that would have been more dramatic. She holds so much power.
Yeah.
And I just think it was just poorly done.
Although I've just been reminded by that picture of Tecteun. I did love
This
the stuff with Tecteun.
is this the scene where the Doctor's like split into three realms? Three.
No, that's in the
Or is that the next
one.
episode?
Because Tecteun
So-
gets killed at the end of this episode.
At this episode?
Yeah, Swarm kills her. That's
Oh.
like the cliffhanger.
But doesn't Tecteun have a conversation with the Doctor in this? Where she
Yeah.
reveals...
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like, I am
Yeah,
your
okay.
mother. Ooh. And all of that, all of that jazz.
I think it says a lot, the fact that I'm struggling to remember this episode
Yeah.
in a timeline order. Like, I can remember all these different... Because for the viewers at home, I'm looking at a screen of like all the different pictures from this episode, but I can't remember them in timeline order, and I think that says a lot about the way it went.
I
Like,
did
it
really like...
It wasn't coherent.
Yeah, I really liked the Grand Serpent going through units history. That's such a good and original idea, but it didn't amount to anything, so it feels wasted.
Yeah, what happened?
Like, what was the point? Why?
What, seriously though? When's it? What he got through the top of unit. Kate Stewart was like, "I'm going to stop you, and I'm wearing some special bio shield, and you can't get that snake in me." Like, that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
think-
the way he killed people was really good.
Yeah, that
Like,
was cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, and I think as well, Kate. Oh, what is it? She has a weird line where she's like, "I'm going to expose you," and it's like, hang on. If she knows this evil serpent guy is going to take over her organization, why on earth does she not just immediately go to Osgood? Why does she go underground? Why does she go dark? Surely, if you know this guy's evil, you'd just be like, right, guys, let's go and shoot him. Like, that's the unit's method. It's not, I'm going to expose you in a 3-hour video essay.
And if you don't stop this, I will expose you.
It's like, what are you doing, Kate? Just tell people.
What are you doing, Kate?
Come on, Kate. Oh.
Oh my God, no! Is this the scene where they meet the guy on the hill and he's
Yeah.
like taking the absolute piss out of them?
Been watching you for days. You need to take more exercise.
That was class.
You
it
think
wasn't.
you like that?
No, it's like the Wi-Fi joke. It's so bad that it's just beautiful to watch.
So, what's the gossip?
It's like what occurred, what went on in Chris Chibnall's head that made him write that.
I'm teasing you.
I don't understand. Oh.
I'm actually embarrassed.
I'm teasing you again.
To just watch that, I saw it and I think I just looked at my friend under the side and was like, I'm gonna cry.
Here we go again.
That literally was another Wi-Fi joke. I'm gonna milk it to death again. That was what was it? What was the dialogue that
He says
do you have
I
any
didn't-
food or no?
yeah, you didn't bring me anything, and they're like, were we supposed to? No, I'm teasing you. And then they go to the Great Wall of China. I've forgotten this. They go to the Great Wall of China, and they don't write on the wall. They write in a clearing near it, and it doesn't make any sense. Oh, and he's like, "Fetch your dog."
Fetch your dog.
Oh my God, yes. Oh, because they're trying to send a message back in time. Because they're trying to. Oh, because they get sent back, don't they? This is when they're all stuck traveling, aren't they, together?
Yeah. And then because at the end of the episode they go into the Williamson tunnels and they meet the Joseph Williamson guy.
Yeah, what was the point of that character? Of the minor guy?
To be fair, it is cool because he's an actual person, like he's a genuine historical figure.
but how did?
But that's all I can say. The rest of it, why?
Oh, does anyone die in this?
My love for the series, maybe. Tecteun does at the end.
That was a good death. I think that was okay.
Personally, I was livid. Like she.
You were
shows
livid?
Up, she shows up for 5 minutes, goes,
Yeah,
"Doctor,
no.
I was your mum," and then dies. It's like, what was the point?
Yeah, no, it was wasted. Like, I thought the death was well written, but like they shouldn't have done it then. They should have.
Yeah.
And
We
then,
should have
there's
had a reason to care about Tecteun rather than
a
just,
reason to care.
Doctor, I'm your mum, bye.
I'm your mum. And then there was an ood, and I was really excited for an ood. And yeah, I think there's loads of different moments. It's going to be really ambiguous and vague. And so there were loads of different moments that were good, but as a whole, did it come together? Like, for example, like with the ood and then the Grand Serpent unit thing, and then Tecteun, like the person acting Tecteun, I thought they did a good job. And then
she was brilliant.
Yeah, and like, but then these
was too
separate
messy.
moments. Yeah. Was this the one where Yaz watches the hologram?
Yeah, I liked that bit, to be fair.
That was another plus point.
Yeah. And it's good foreshadowing as well for what we'll discuss later in the video.
Yeah. I don't think Belle did anything useful.
When does Belle ever do anything useful? She just
No
talks to a baby
offense.
monitor and shoots things, that's it.
No offense, you and your baby monitor are cute, but and what about it? And what about it? And
exactly.
What? There's so many pregnant people in this world. What makes you special?
That's an iconic quote.
See, I don't. Oh, okay, right. There's a lot to say, and I think C or D. I think
B. It's not
B.
as bad. I don't think it's as bad as Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
But then also, does it deserve B?
It's not that deep.
Yeah.
It's got. I think we'll put it a B because Grand Serpent's thing through unit and the hologram thing and just some good character building between Dan and Yaz.
Individually, they're all good elements.
Yeah, individually, but together as a collective, rubbish.
Yeah. Speaking of rubbish, the Vanquishers.
Yes, currently set at D. Will it change? That is the question.
Suspense. Drum roll.
How does it start?
Oh my god!
How does this episode kick off?
I got so fuming at the start because they do this big cliffhanger. Swarm kills Tecteun, then he moves towards the Doctor like he's gonna kill her, and then the way they resolve the cliffhanger, she ducks and walks out of frame.
With me.
She thinks running will help.
What? Like, it's so poor. You can do better.
What are you saying? That's like good TV. I was, so happy. I agree. It was.
There's too much going on. I don't know where to begin. Like,
I think this is the issue. They're trying to do too much.
Yeah.
When less is more.
Yeah.
Less is more. When you've got so many good individual parts, less is more. Like, you don't have to just complicate the plot.
Yeah. It almost feels like there's been 2 or 3 series just shoved into one.
Should we talk about a positive?
Yeah.
Jericho.
Yeah. What a Chad. Alpha male. Shout out to Jericho.
I think his goodbye speech when he was in the Sontaran ship.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was lovely, wasn't it? He's about to die, but yeah, I can't remember what he said. It was sort of like I'm glad I've lived my life kind of speech.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my life, or I'm happy to go this way.
What an awfully big adventure. And then boom, he's gone.
Yeah. Could have been so much more.
Yeah.
So much more.
David Tennant, is that you?
Yes. Creds to Chibnall for a good send-off of Jericho, even though he could have been, I think they could have used him in maybe the next series, or I don't know.
Only thing with Jericho's send-off, they cut to the TARDIS after he dies, and Yaz just goes, "Oh no, Jericho," and that's it. No one else talks about him for the rest of the episode. Like,
it's because they're trying to pack too much in.
They have no time.
They're focusing on the things that they think we care about, but we actually don't. We care more about the characters and like.
And it's like as well when I love the moment where the Sontarans are like to Carvanista, "We've killed all of your dog people, like, go and die, haha, get wrecked, whatever." And then like that is such a good moment, but also it's show don't tell. Like, they just told us that, show us, the Sontarans being these brutal creatures. Also, that never gets expanded upon. We just cut to a shot of like Carvanista. I don't know if you remember the shot. I'll put it on screen. Carvanista just sat on the TARDIS looking sad and looking at the floor, and that's it. It's like his entire race has just died. There needs to be more stuff there.
Like, yeah. God, I'm getting a lot of flashbacks now to this whole episode, and at this point, I think whilst I didn't like Carvanista at the start, I really grew to like him.
Yeah.
At the end, and I think I just not related to him, but it was nice to see not the fact that his entire race had just died. That was not
relatable.
Nice. But just seeing instead of him being this, well, I need a pet human, I need to save you, and just this like sort of angry soldier-esque voice. It was like, oh, a side of him which just sad, and it's nice to see a different side to someone, that's what I'm trying to say.
I thought the Doctor's confrontation with the Grand Serpent, one of my favourite scenes of the Whittaker era. It's so brief, but he just felt so threatening, and Jodie felt so much like the Doctor. It's when she's locked in that chair and then the other version of her comes and rescues her, and she's like, oh, you're pretty attractive, or whatever she says.
Oh,
that was quite
that
funny.
was interesting. That was I didn't know how to. I was like, it was quite a good Doctor moment. I think that's something that the Doctor would say.
The Sontarans were quite good in this one as well.
God, I can't even remember. I think I was so lost in this episode. I just watched it and I was like, I want things to be wrapped up, and I just feel like things are slowly being unwrapped even more.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, the send-off that Azure and Swarm had, I hated that.
It doesn't make sense. What is time, and why is it suddenly a person? We've gone through 56 years of Doctor Who with time as this abstract concept, and now they're like, it's a bloke.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, because that's supposed to be time as a person, and for some reason it takes the form of these other... It doesn't make any sense. I've got to have a breakdown. Chibnall has driven me to this point.
Trigger warning for all Doctor Who fans. This moment is just
too much.
Right, so you're saying that Swarm in this picture I'm looking at, it's like this purple mist. That's time.
Yeah, that is time.
That's what you're saying.
As a person, and Swarm and Azure's mission was to unlock time. You know the golden people, the Mori from episode 2 in the temple?
Mm-hmm.
That temple is what contained time, the person. So the Mori were protecting time from leaving, and Swarm and Azure was trying to kill the Mori so that time could break out for some reason. We don't know why, we don't know what it does, we don't know who it is, we don't know why it suddenly just does nothing in this episode. Like, unbelievable.
We're not saying this because we're just hating for the sake of it. It's because I just want to iterate that we want the show to be enjoyable. Like, it's because we care so much about the show. Like, we're not just hating, like, make a big deal out the weaknesses or just criticize it for the sake of it because we think we're so great and we're so much better. Like, I can write that better. Like, we're not saying that. We're just, as viewers, we want it to be great. We want Doctor Who to be I think we're just comparing it to what we've like seen before.
Yeah, especially as well, I feel like in my comment section, I always get comments where it's like, you're too positive with the Jodie era. And I'm not. I was genuinely loving the Jodie era until part of Flux, where it just started to really drop off for me. And I think what annoys me most is that there's so much potential, so many good ideas. It's not like harkening back to like series 11, for example, I don't get annoyed at watching it. It's just a bit boring because nothing happens. Whereas with this, there's so many good ideas, so many good things, so many good characters, and they just don't give them the service that they need, which, like, I feel like it's just such a disappointment because it could have been one of, if not the best series of Doctor Who ever. There were just
I agree with that. 100%.
A load of things that messed it up.
There were so many individual plot points, so many individual like characters that just were, you could just tell they were great. That's so true.
Because I think that's why I get so frustrated, especially at this series. Like,
I was going to say, I think on an idea level, this is probably one of the best seasons.
Yeah.
Like, just of what it could, like, there were so many just individual things that were, like, so many ideas, like, so many, like, original and, like, just never done before things.
Yeah. But then in the end, it amounts to
Nothing.
fluff. Oh, especially the Doctor's pocket watch. Like, that was the entire point in the series, was finding out about the Doctor's past, and she just sort of goes, nah, never mind, and gets rid of it. It's like,
I'll put it in the bin for later. Or just show me, take it out when I need it the most, or whatever crap what does she say? She was like,
says,
only...
she's like, I'm never going to look at this unless I really need to. Dun, dun, dun.
Unless I'm really craving a pocket watch, but...
Oh, yeah, it just... In the words of Chris Chibnall from the 80s, it could have been a lot better. It could have been slightly better written. That's it. There you go. Chris, I'm quoting you at yourself.
Could have been slightly better written.
Could have been a lot better
I
written.
Okay, positives. I liked seeing... actually, there was a bit where Azure, I still can't say her name, she had a really good scene with the Doctor.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it's in this episode or the one before.
No, I know it's in this one. I know the one you're talking about.
There's a little conversation. I think it's when they're outside.
Yeah.
And it's before this the time guy turns up, or like the swarm, the additional swarm. I think Azure and Jodie, I might be completely wrong, but Azure and Jodie have a little conversation, and it's amazing. And I was like, wow.
It's where Azure's like, I'm going to tear you apart because you annoyed me in the past. It's really
maybe
good.
it's here. Yeah, no, I think that's a real like positive of that episode. It's just it just proves our point further that there are like individual specific moments and specific dynamics that the show doesn't exploit enough.
Especially because the characters and the costume and the set, it's so good. Like, it is
it's amazing.
The best Doctor Who's ever looked. But I think we need to rank this episode.
Yeah, we do. Okay,
we sort of forgot.
C?
Yeah, it doesn't deserve D, because especially after looking at those pictures, it sort of flashed my memory back. It is a good episode. Oh my god, I forgot the Sontaran and the chocolate joke. What did you think of that?
Can we just have like 3 seconds of silence? Just
3 seconds of what?
Silence. Just shut up. Shut up.
Sorry. Oh no.
True fans of the confused Adipose will know.
Throwback.
Your new subscribers won't understand why we're laughing.
Oh, that pained me.
There's a silence.
Wait, sorry, I forgot. What?
They have been defeated, though, because obviously they made everyone like look out for them on Earth.
What? Wait, who made everyone?
The silence saying, like, you should...
Wait, hang on, the who?
The silence.
Right, that was a terrible joke.
Are you going to make a terrible joke?
No, that was the terrible joke. I was pretending I couldn't remember who the silence were.
Oh!
I apologise, that was...
You have to keep that in the video. Oh, I hate myself. That was a good joke,
no,
but I'm just
it wasn't.
Oh. Throwback, guys. Go and watch the old videos and then you'll understand why that wasn't funny.
3 seconds of pause just to I don't know, grieve over that horrific
vulnerable
moment between a Sontaran and some sweets.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's just the way he looks dead into the camera and just goes like, chocolate.
Chocolate.
It's like, oh, there he is, the man himself.
Well, Look at this picture. His eyes. That's
That is like a sleep paralysis demon. That is not.
nah.
Right.
Please, in the comments, please give me a well-justified explanation as to why this is good.
I don't think you're going to get any. It's just
No, someone's going to
Oh.
be like, well, it makes Doctor Who. No.
Yeah.
No.
It appealed to the children. No, it didn't. It was stupid.
Even the children were like, Mum.
Mum, turn it off. I don't want to watch this anymore. It's
not funny.
It's the three defining moments: the Wi-Fi joke, the Sontaran thing, and then what was the other bad joke from the series that we talked about earlier?
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh,
No, I know what you mean.
yeah,
The
those
Holy
three
Trinity.
are
of-
just god awful. Are
Mm.
just
I
painful.
don't know, but it's so out of character for a Sontaran to. They've built up the Sontarans to be this huge threat. They will do anything for war. They're like bloodthirsty. They're like, it's like a crime. Like the worst thing that a Sontaran can possibly do is like treason, or just ever show signs of weakness, or you know what I mean.
Yeah,
And
especially as well, like the. No, I'm not going to go into this. We're not.
For the character to suddenly just completely change, just a completely like a weird vibe change.
You know
and
what?
just,
I'm going to say it because I've had enough of Chibnall. I'm angry now. You know how in episode 2, War of the Sontarans, Dan and Carvanista crash a Sontaran ship into all of the other ones?
Yeah.
That's how they solve the problem. At the start of Survivors of the Flux, Jodie crashes a Sontaran ship into the other one, but it doesn't crash, and she goes, I knew it wouldn't crash because Sontarans always keep their shields on. That's how we'll get aboard. Literally 3 episodes before, they solved the issue by crashing a ship. How can they suddenly say, Sontarans always keep their shields up? None of it makes sense. None of it. Genuinely unbelievable.
I was better off without that knowledge.
Yeah, but right, we're going to rank the episode now because we've talked about Sontarans and chocolate for way too long.
We're putting it at C.
A solid
D?
C. No,
Okay, yeah,
C.
C.
The chocolate did wave at that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
they were C.
Yeah.
So that is the abrupt end of our ranking video. We will discuss like either the Daleks or something else at another point because that's probably what you want to see. Let us know in the comments. But also tell us in the comments what you thought of our ranking. Yeah,
I'm happy with this ranking. I think it's fair that we've got War of the Sontarans first, and we've got Once Upon a Time, and the Vanquishers at the bottom. I think that's fair. I'm happy with that. Apologies if we've offended Flux lovers.
Yeah.
But
sorry.
We'll
Chris.
be back to discuss Eve of the Daleks and really get into the big elephant into the room. So
See, we're doing what a Chris Chibnall does, dangling plot threads everywhere. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Anyway, also go and follow Evie on all of our social medias. You can see them on screen somewhere.
Thank you very
on
much.
Screen. Yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy. Please do subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Don't forget to click below.
Subscribe to the Confused Adipose.